Windsor's Country Mornings with Cordell.
Although my wife says I drive like I'm driving a monster truck.
Yeah, they're like get out of my way.
That's right. That's right. And a few times I've had people cut me off, and I wished I had a monster truck.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. I've had that question numerous times. Somebody say, "Don't you wish you could get up on the interstate with this?" And I said, "Boy, I'd have a heck of a wreck."
You would. Oh my goodness. So listen, let's go back. So first off, you're originally from Michigan, and where in Michigan?
I was north of Grand Rapids, so West Michigan, up in a small town called Newaygo.
Newaygo. Okay, never been there before. Interesting. Yeah. And so how did little Ed become enamored with the idea of driving, giant oversized vehicles? How did this whole thing happen?
So I was actually a fan for 14 years. I went to all the monster truck shows, and I had a show truck, and the first time I seen him, I thought, man, this is cool. So I just was a great big fan. No particular truck either, just trucks in general.
Okay.
And 14 years later, a buddy of mine came to me and said he had a friend that owned one, and he said we were going to book him for a car show. And I was like, all right. So we hired him to come up and do a car show for us. And at the end of the car show, after all the cars had left, he was still tired up. And he said, "Ed, you want to drive it?" And I said, "Oh, no. And then and he asked me 3-4 different times within a period of 15 minutes. And I kept saying no, because you're talking $1,500. It's a $40,000 engine. And I'm like, no, if I break that thing, I'll feel obligated to pay for it. And finally he said, "Ed," he said, "just drive it." He said, "I'm not going to have you drive it over cars, just from, like 200 foot from here to there and then back." And I was like, well, what can really go wrong? So I got in there and I hit the gas pedal, and it was all over, because the power, the unreal power was like, I got out of there and I'm just shaking. My hands I was like, oh, that's an adrenaline rush and a half. And next thing you know, that same guy had built another truck, and he was parting out his other truck. I bought his scrap, and then I rebuilt it into another truck, which was the original full bore that I owned. And I drove that for 16 years. And then I built a brand new truck, and I debuted it in 17. And now I'm on 24 years worth of driving.
My goodness. And are you driving, or are you retired? Like, what's the deal there?
Oh no, I'm driving bucking Bronco.
Ah,
so I own full bore.
Gotcha.
But the owner of the truck can't drive. He had a surgery on somewhere. He had a surgery to where his doctor told him he can't take the abuse for a little while. He's in recovery stage. So he called me up, because we're good friends, and he said, "Ed," he said, "I know how you drive." And he said, "Can you drive my truck for me?" And I said, "Absolutely, I can." So I drove 3 weeks ago. He had started first. He called me up, and I did a show over by Toronto in Markham. And I drove his truck with him, and he was so happy with what I did. I literally drove the next Saturday for him as well, and over by Hamilton, somewhere, I can't remember the city. Right. But so I drove again, and I beat all his regular drivers. I mean, we had so much fun, but I didn't break the truck. I was just entertaining. But I even said to his other drivers, I said, it's all about, we call it seat time. The more you're in it, the more you get better and better and better. And of course, I'm a veteran of it. So after them shows, I was done, and I drove on back home to Knoxville, Tennessee.
That's where you're living now.
And then earlier this week, he said, "Ed, the doctor won't release me yet." He said, "You want to drive for me again?" And I'm like, all right. So I wasn't booked with my truck, so I'm just going to drive up into Canada and drive his truck for him.
All right. And that truck is which one again?
Bucking Bronco.
Bucking Bronco. Okay. So now when everybody's watching Bucking Bronco, they'll know that you're in there. Now, you said this is really grueling on the body. Now, a lot of people might look at this and go, well, how is it grueling on the body? Because, the truck's doing all the work. So tell people what that's like.
It is not grueling on the bottom.
Oh, it's not. Okay, okay.
No,
But it is in
the
his case.
doctor don't understand that they actually land really good. Everything,
Okay.
we're buckled in there. We're safe. We're secure. If that truck is working good, we don't feel nothing. We can drive just like a regular car. But
Ah,
most people don't understand that because they think you're getting beat up. Hence, the doctor thought he will be too rough on himself.
it does. I mean, there is a lot of bouncing, isn't there? But you don't
Oh,
really feel
well,
it. You don't really feel
yeah,
it because this is
bouncing jars, and I guess, but you don't feel it. I mean, it really, you don't. I can get out of there and it's like I just drove my regular pickup truck to the store.
wow.
It's not.
I kind of want to see you drive your pickup truck to the store now. It's going over the curbs and
That's right. Might be a tree in the way, a car in the way.
no, you had a Hot Wheels version of your old truck, right?
Yep. And actually, it's not a Hot Wheels, but there is same size of the bucking Bronco and wadded up, and the Fox truck. So he's got a bunch of toys made. He actually had them made like the Hot Wheels, except they're just not a Hot Wheels name. Me personally, I have a Hot Wheels one because I've ran for Monster Jam for
Sure.
years and years. So that's where all my seat time comes of running the truck. But now we're running for this promoter, the Wadded Up Tour.
If only we could get like a little tiny miniature version of you to
Yeah, right. That's like when I was 3.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I would be petitioning for that. Like, I got the truck,
Yeah.
but now I need me to put in the truck.
I need to tell him he needs to do me a bobblehead or something.
There you go. That would work out really, really well. Do that's interesting. Now, do some of the drivers keep like a bobblehead? Because I think a bobblehead inside a monster truck would be going crazy.
He'd probably have a broken neck by now.
That's
Because
probably
we're buckled in, but it wouldn't be.
that's true. That's true. What is your favorite part of the whole thing? Your favorite part of driving one of these monsters?
My favorite part is honestly 100% the adrenaline rush that I get from driving, but it's also the fans. When you see the kids and the family screaming and hollering and jumping up and down, I mean, it just makes your whole day. You know that you're doing your job right. When you get somebody that calls in, they're happy with what you're talking about, and you did, the way you promoted something, that gives you that 100% of thrill that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care if I win or lose, as long as I can put a smile on a face. And we're up after the shows doing autographs, and somebody says, I like what you did with this right here. I might not even remember it, but they remember. And that's what makes my day.
Yeah.
It makes me excited.
Now, do you think the trucks actually steal the thunder a little bit from the drivers? Like, because the trucks are, for a lot of people, the stars of the show, right?
That is correct. And that's there again. So the kids, they like the trucks. They don't care who's driving, but because in the autograph line, the kid will be like, whichever, boy, girl, because they're saying to their parent, now, which one is this? Which one is this? Because they don't understand that yet. And as they grow up, like, I mean, heck, I'm ancient now, but I'm still a fan. When I'm not driving, I'm watching the other guys and I'm rooting for them. I'm just saying, oh, that was cool. I'm their biggest fan, just like a little kid would be my fan. So it's something that gets in your blood once you see it, and once you hear it, and once you feel it in your chest from the horsepower. It's such an addiction of just fun and good fun. You're not hurting nobody. You're not doing nothing stupid. You're just watching somebody else be crazy.
That's right. That's right. Now, as a fan of it, what truck over the years throughout your entire life, if you had to pick one truck that you think was your favorite, the one that you thought that's a cool looking ride right there, which one would be your favorite outside of your own?
I was just going to say, so my favorite would absolutely have to be Full Bore. But honestly, I don't think I have a absolute favorite. So I can tell you the one that wouldn't be my favorite.
Oh, yeah, do that.
Gravedigger. That is my absolute worst. But I love
that was my favorite. Ed, that was my favorite when I was a kid.
And so that's the problem with it is it's too commercialized. Now, Dennis Anderson, I love him to death. He's a great guy. When he owned the truck himself, It was awesome, but it got bought out by the big corporation. Now there's 7 to 10 drivers that drive digger all over the place. It took that personality or the personability away from it.
Right.
So, and then every time I hear Bad to the Bone on the radio, I change the channel. I just, it's shoved down your throat so much to where you've got to like that one, even though I don't want to take nothing away from any of the drivers because they are very, very good.
Yes.
I just don't like the way that they commercialize it, almost like, I don't know, say Heinz ketchup over all the other ketchups.
Sure.
You know It's like they push. To me, I like the independent guys. And what I mean by that is the guys that actually own their trucks, work on their trucks, and drive their trucks, which is me, which is the guy that I'm going to go work for. All the trucks that are going to be at this show are all independent trucks, meaning they're all individually owned, not owned by the corporation.
And what's the up? How much is it? You go ahead.
Monster Jam is a corporation.
Right.
They own 56 or 58 trucks. So there's no personableness of one truck. And that's the downside. And that's why I like the smaller shows. And I say smaller, they're the same format, just smaller owned, when you get more personal to the guys that really, really, truly love the sport because they've worked their way from a mud bog truck up to a monster truck, and they really appreciate every nut and bolt that's on the truck, which is the way Dennis Anderson was forever, and his kids as well.
How much are the drivers at the top of the game? How much can they make in a year doing this? Having just
it's not a job to do for a living. No, it's not.
And the expense, how much is the expense to fix the trucks? Because I'm sure that there's a constant state of repair and maintenance.
Yeah. So most guys, such as myself, I own an auto repair shop. The guy that I'm going to go work for, he does some cement, like concrete where they pour the walls. That's his business. So most of the trucks that are independently, they're not making money on the trucks. That's just their golf game, so to speak.
Right.
You're just going and you're paying to go show off in front of people and entertain people, but their main living is off their job that they have. And most of the guys, they're all self-employed because they have their own business that will allow them to go leave and go do these shows for people.
Interesting.
So it's not really a career, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun to entertain people.
Sure.
I mean, you look at your job, what you do, obviously it's a career, but you enjoy entertaining people.
Yeah, I enjoy trying to entertain people. I enjoy trying to entertain people.
Well, absolutely. And you'll get your ones that absolutely love you, and then you get the ones that don't agree with you about something and switch channels, whatever. You can't please everybody all the time. All you can do is just keep trying.
That's right.
That's with the trucks, same thing. I just keep trying to entertain. As long as everybody's having fun, we're gonna keep going through it and over and over and over again. I remember one time I was at an autograph session and a kid come up to me and he says, "I like that truck." And I was like, "Oh, that's good. Were you really happy about what they did?" And he said, "No, it's yellow. I like yellow." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Sometimes it's the simplest thing.
It is truly the simplest thing. It's like you just played a song that's the #1 hit and they like you for that. And then you play a song that's, let's say, Johnny Cash. Well, they don't know who Johnny Cash really is, but he was okay. No, he was great.
That's right. That's right.
It's so fun. But that's half the fun of it. It really is. What we do is fun because we do what we call a pit party before the show too, where people can get up close to the trucks and get their picture taken and introduce themselves to us, and we can do them an autograph. And sometimes it's just fun, just jostling around with the kids, like one time I had a kid walk up and he had a Gravedigger shirt on. I put my hand over that shirt and I'd say, "Oh, you don't want a picture with that ugly shirt on," and the family is just, they're laughing. They're having a good time. It's almost like we're comedians sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what's fun about it. So, I mean, like I said, I was a fan. Now I'm an entertainer, but I'm an entertainer / fan / crazy driver.
And a kid at heart. And a kid at heart. That's obvious.
Absolutely.
Ed, thank you so much for talking to us here today. We can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, especially since how I wasn't planning it. I literally got the call 2 days ago and said, "Hey, Ed, can you drive?" And I said, "I will be there."
Good. It's going to be good to have you back in the area again. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Take care, Ed. All the best.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
It's Windsor's Country Mornings with Cordell. Weekdays 5:30 to 10 on Windsor's Country.